Hi, it's Dwight Halstead down here in Ocala, Florida. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to be doing a quick interview with Matt, who is a representative with Rain International. Now, in his last business, he was in the coffee business before. And a very interesting note here, in his very first 30 days in his first business, he did almost $30,000 worth of volume in his company. Coffee is a very valuable commodity. What he's going to be doing, he's going to be explaining a little bit more why Rain International's infused coffee with the ingredients we have is so important and why we have the first mover advantage, and this makes a great business opportunity for us to jump into. So after you get done listening to him, if you want to have a sample for yourself, fill out the form below, and when the samples become available, I will be contacting you. Now, I'm going to be sending the samples out to a select few, so if you want to take advantage of this, make sure you fill out the form first so I can contact you. First come, first serve. But it's a great opportunity. For my business partners out there that are looking to renew your business, this is a great time to jump back into the game. And for you new people out there, this is even a better time for you to get into the game because now Rain International is going to be moving forward very, very quickly. So go ahead and listen to Matt. Listen what he has to say. Take some notes. If you have additional questions, don't hesitate to get a hold of me. So enjoy. Bye now.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Shay, for inviting me on the call. I'm excited. You're touching on it with what we have here at Rain and the opportunities and how we're just moving forward. And you talked about how that new Rain infused black coffee, the coffee line that's going to be shipping out, and for those that had access to it early, they're going to be getting that stuff, sent out to them very soon. So what I want to talk about, because I have a huge background in coffee, is for those of you that aren't familiar with coffee, how you can incorporate that into your business and what this is going to be for Rain and for each of us as Rain partners, the opportunity that we have with this new amazing line of infused coffee that we've added to our arsenal. So again, whether you drink coffee or not, I'm going to explain to you on this call why this can be a complete game changer, not only for your business, but for the entire industry. We're going to set records based on what we have. The power of coffee is truly amazing. So just a quick story about myself. When I came into this industry, I had virtually no experience whatsoever. When I was just a teenager, I had dabbled in multi-level marketing, but I was too young. I was going to college, and I was doing a million different things, and I just wasn't focused enough to understand the tool that we had. And so years and years and years later, I was constantly getting hit up by people. Man, you have a huge network of people. You gotta do this company, do that company. And it wasn't until I had a gentleman hitting me up to have a cup of coffee repeatedly over and over again, and I kept blowing my fan. I don't have time. Finally, I remember I looked at Andrew and said, "Hey, I gotta get this guy off my back. I'm just gonna go have a quick cup of coffee. I'll be home in 15 minutes." And I was introduced to a healthy cup of coffee, a concept that I had never thought of before in my life. And little did I know that one cup of coffee was going to completely change not only my life and my family's life, but the masses, all the people that I came in contact with that was able to share this amazing cup of coffee with. And this is what we have here with our new Rain infused coffee. So, once I saw it, my eyes, it felt like the blinds were pulled off my eyes, and I was opening up this whole new world, and I immediately saw the vision, jumped right in, and in my first full month of working with that coffee, I was able to do over $30,000 in volume with no experience, basically, in network marketing. I'm going to say that again. In my first month of working with a healthy coffee, I was able to do $30,000, over $30,000 in volume. Just think about that. Each and every one of you has that same potential to do that with what we have, whether you drink coffee or not. I'm going to explain why. So, just a little bit about coffee and why coffee is the right industry. There's some facts about coffee. Coffee is $100+ billion a year industry. It's the number one consumed product on the planet next to water. It's the number one trade commodity next to oil. Billions of cups of coffee are served every single day. In fact, every time I snap my fingers, over 40,000 cups of coffee are being served in the United States alone. How would you like to have a percentage of that business in your business? Think about it. Just think about the people that, most people cannot start their day off without a cup of coffee. I know that's how it is in our household. The first day in the morning, Henry gets up, starts making the coffee, and he starts getting the kids ready for school. Coffee is like the number one thing. People joke about it all the time, that, until they've had several cups of coffee, they can't even start their day. So coffee has become a way of life. We talk about here at Rain of becoming more, for most people, coffee is integrated in their life. But some of the facts about traditional coffee, what you might know or might not know, coffee is high in acid. It constricts the blood vessels. It increases the risk of arthritis, obesity, diabetes, depression. It dehydrates the body. Most people, if you have a cup of coffee, you have an 8-ounce cup of coffee, halfway through that cup of coffee, you start feeling dehydrated. That's because coffee dehydrates you, and you're reaching for a glass of water. Now, most people don't know that in an 8-ounce cup of coffee, it takes 16 to 18 glasses of water to flush the acid out of your system from that one cup of traditional coffee. Again, 16 to 18 cups, and that's an 8-ounce cup. Most people that are going to Starbucks or Coffee Bean or Dunkin' Donuts, they're drinking 16-ounce cups, which is basically 2 cups of coffee, and most of them drink a couple of those in the morning, so that's 4 cups of coffee. Well, so when you're talking to somebody, you ask them, how many cups of coffee you drink? 2 60-ounce, so that's like 80 glasses of water you need to drink to flush all the acid out of your system. And when you have all the acid in your system, it lowers your pH and it opens you up to sickness and disease. Now here, we have an infused coffee. I don't know how much you guys have looked into it, but this micronized coffee, with the ingredients, you have a Brazilian coffee bean that's infused with Indian coffee powder, grape seed extract, grapefruit seed extract, Ganoderma extract, pomegranate seed extract, and the black cumin seed oil. All those things make a powerhouse cup of coffee that actually gives people that health component that they can have. It doesn't have to be a guilty pleasure. It's something they can drink and actually will do good for them. I mean, just look at the Ganoderma extract. Ganoderma itself, if you're doing your research on it, has over 150 antioxidants and 200 phytonutrients. It boosts the immune system. When I was first introduced to this coffee, my dad had got diagnosed with prostate cancer, and his PSA levels were up over 10. And for his age, his PSA levels should have been in the 4s. Now, going to the regular doctor, they wanted him to do chemotherapy and radiation and surgery. And I asked him, I said, Dad, stop drinking your Don Jose's coffee from Costco and just try this coffee. Try some healthy coffee for a month and just see what happens. If nothing happens, do what the doctors tell you. So he religiously drank the coffee for a month and then went and got his PSA levels retested. And after a month, his PSA levels had dropped to the low 5s. And in that time, he has never had to have surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, nothing. So the power that we have with this product line that's going to be coming out very soon is truly amazing. So, just think about it. What would be the plan? The plan with the Rain Infused Coffee. Just go through the numbers. Jay always talks about numbers tell the whole story. Math does not lie. There's 7 billion people in the world, and approximately 80% of them drink coffee or tea every single day. So if you do the math on that, that's 5 billion coffee or, when our line expands out, tea drinkers in the world. So on average, they spend about $50 a month. Most people, if you go to Starbucks, you're probably spending more like $300 a month. I remember that one time I was talking to a potential customer, and she said that between her and her husband, their coffee habit was $500 a month. But think about that, $500 a month. That's like a Mercedes payment. That's what they spend every month on coffee. Most people drink coffee to the point of addiction every single day. So, what we're looking to do, really a goal that you can set for yourself, and I'm sure that Rain has done this, we don't want to take over the entire market. We just want to capture 1% of that market. Let's just take it simple, 1% of the coffee and tea market. So if you have 1% of the 5 billion is 50 million people. If they spend on average $50 a month on our Rain infused coffee, that equates to over $30 billion in annual sales. I'm going to say that again. If we just captured 1% of the coffee market, that would be $30 billion in annual sales. And because of our generous compensation plan, a good portion that will get paid out to us as Rain partners. So think about it. And that's just on one product, one coffee product, in and amongst all the other amazing things we have with the core and the soul and the form. So you ask yourself, how do you capture, that 1%? Just 4 key points. Taste. I guarantee you when you try our new coffee, that's going to taste as good or better than any other coffee that's out there on the market. Secondly, price. We have a price. We're price competitive. Most cups of coffee, you walk into a Starbucks and you have to pay on average $3 to $5 for your coffee. Well, I know that the price point on our coffee is going to be approximately $22 a box. And with 30 sachets in there, if you do the math, it adds up to about 75 cents a cup of coffee. You can't even get coffee from a Denny's or a diner for less than $1.52. And here we have something that the third point has a health component in it. I just went through the list of what's in our coffee. We have a health component. If you ask people on a scale of 1 to 10, what would they rate their health? Almost everybody's going to say a 10. And what would they pay to have that optimal health? Most people would pay anything. Go talk to speaking of cancer patients, go talk to a cancer patient, ask them what price would you put if you could be healthy, what would you pay? They would give anything. And here we are, we're talking about a product that we have that is less than $1 a cup, but it has a health component in it that we can go out and change people's lives in not only ourselves and our families, but in every single person that we give this to. And the beautiful thing about it is it's micronized. So I don't know if you guys understand what micronized coffee is, but it's not an instant coffee. It's not like back in the day when you had those freeze-dried crystals. This is something where we take the coffee and it's ground down to the powder form so that it can be infused with all those health components. And then it's put into individual sachets. So as you walk around, you have an instant cup of fresh coffee in your pocket at all times. Think about the power of that. No matter where you go, it could be anywhere around the world. All you have to have access to is hot water, which is abundant everywhere, which basically means that every single person you come in contact to, since 80% of the population drinks coffee or tea every single day to the point of addiction, is a potential customer for you. Some of the other things to think about, every single city and town, think about the cafes and the restaurants. When you're driving by, that's all you see all the time. Those are all potential customers for you. I know a lot of people that are in the restaurant industry, and they waste thousands and thousands of dollars on coffee. When you go into a coffee shop next time or a restaurant, just look at the back station where your server is usually getting the drinks from, and they have a coffee pot. Well, that coffee just sits there, and they have to keep it fresh, otherwise people are going to complain. So constantly throughout the day, if they're not going through the volume fast enough, they're having to dump out that coffee. Well, every time they dump out that coffee, that's money just being dumped down the drain. I think about the potential of being able to go into some of these businesses and show them that you can give them a product that they can have on demand with no waste. Every time a customer asks for a cup of coffee, all they need to have access to is hot water, and they can have an instant fresh cup of coffee, and there's going to be zero waste. In addition, their price point is going to be less than $1 a cup, and they're getting a health component. Think about the marketing that people can do on having a healthy coffee. I just did a a job fair last week when I had access to the University of Phoenix, and I was talking to people about our Rain products and showing them and then letting them know that we have this line of healthy coffee. Every time I said that, people stopped and started laughing. Like, healthy coffee, that's a joke, right? Healthy coffee? I'm like, no, it's actually really serious. Healthy coffee. But people are blown away by that concept because they never thought that it would be possible to have something that they are already doing and get a health component out of it. Now, going back to that 1%, the fourth point, the greatest part about it, you got taste, price, the health component. And the best thing about it is Rain is going to pay you for drinking and referring coffee. How great is that? Ask somebody. When you're talking to a prospect and you ask them, there's real simple ways to talk to people. It's four basic questions. You can do this to anybody. Every single person on this line can do this. It's so simple. In the course of a conversation, you strike up with somebody, you can ask them, do you drink coffee or tea occasionally? Because everybody is going to say yes. And then you ask them, what brand do you drink? Folgers, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, Coffee Bean, what is it? And then you ask them how they take their coffee. As our coffee line expands, we'll have more flavors besides black. I'm sure that there'll be a black, a latte, a chai tea. So by asking them, how they take their coffee, you'll know eventually what sample to be pulling for them. And then finally, you ask them, you ever got paid for drinking your coffee? And every time you say that, somebody's going to laugh because it seems so absurd to them. And then you say, look, you're telling me, for example, a Starbucks drinker, last time you went to Starbucks, as you were walking out the door, they didn't give you a dollar as you're walking out the door, thanking you for drinking their coffee and being a loyal customer and walking around with a Starbucks cup in your hand all day long, giving them free advertising. They don't. It's a joke because they've never heard of something like that. But here we're going to have the opportunity with this new product line to be able to get paid for doing something that everybody already does. It's the greatest thing about it is, we talk about it a lot, Russ has talked about this, it takes 21 days to form a habit. Well, here's a habit that most people already have. It's something that would be a flawless transition in their lives because they already do it every single day. You're just taking product X and replace it with our healthy infused black coffee. So, with that's mainly what I wanted to talk about today. Russ, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer some questions. But the place that we're going with Rain, you cannot be in a better place at a better time with this company and where we're going forward. We talk about with Rain being a company that's a category creator and tapping into those mega trends. And, we have it here with our leadership. It starts all the way at the top with Byron and Jay. And, we have an amazing staff, and we have just amazing things happening. So I encourage each and every one of you to do your research and go out there and run like there's no tomorrow.